The Mark Boucher saga with Cricket South Africa continues, with the Proteas head coach facing charges of gross misconduct. Advocate Terry Motau has been roped in to oversee the process. In the end, it's an employer-employee relationship between Boucher and CSA. And to help put things into perspective for us is Piet Heymans. He's the CEO of Sport Employees Unite, a trade union representing non-playing staff. Good evening to you, Piet, and thank you so much for joining us. So, we don't see matters like this every day. So is this a case of CSA trying to save face in the matters of transformation, or is there really a bone to pick here with the coach?
Yeah, thank you, Marina. I think what's critical here, and you've touched on it very clearly, this is a clear employee-employer relationship, and there's obviously an allegation of misconduct, and that will now be handled in terms of the disciplinary code of Cricket South Africa. I think the difficulty in this whole process is that the allegations took place many years ago, and it's now been brought to the fore through this process that took place at the hearings. And Cricket South Africa obviously had advice, and they were given the options to pursue this in terms of the disciplinary code of the employer. So at the end of the day, there are now been charges that's been drafted and have been presented to Mark, and now the due process needs to be followed.
Does the charge hold any weight, though, Piet? I mean, you are mentioning that this is something that happened more than a decade ago already, and yet it's something he's dealing with today. So would you say that it's strong enough a case? I mean, this is also considering the fact that they are bringing his handling of the ex-assistant coach, Enoch to the fore as well, which perhaps is something that they would like to, bring more weight to their charge.
Yeah, I think the reality of this is that as part of the process, they, I think, did the right thing by getting external advice from legal advisors. And the legal advice, as I understand it, has been that there's sufficient grounds to pursue, with disciplinary action against Mark. And at the end of the day, that's the prerogative of the employer. Sometimes issues only come to the fore many years, after it took place, and there's new charges and new incidents that needs to be investigated. But this is a clear example of, a high-profile employer-employee relationship that's obviously hitting the media headlines, and it brings about the whole issue that at the end of the day there needs to be fairness, and I think Cricket South Africa is doing its utmost to make sure procedurally they are going to tick all the boxes and that they will comply with all the requirements of the labour laws.
Piet, Mark Boucher's contract is expiring soon, and this is expected to be a months-long process. And it will very likely go beyond the expiration of his contract. So is there really any point of doing this?
Yeah, this is an interesting question, and the timing is obviously a challenge, and I think at the end of the day, just again from that employer-employee relationship, I think the best is to pursue this and give all parties a fair opportunity to present their cases and that it be heard. Because if it is just being left and nothing is being done about it, it creates a lot of speculation. A lot of it might appear that there's a cover up or things are just being swept under the carpet. So yeah, timing is definitely a challenge here. But again, I think the legal advice that Cricket South Africa got was go through the process, even if it goes over or past the expiry date of his contract, that the process must be completed. Let's hope it is again doesn't take so long. And the big thing here is there needs to be fairness and then there needs to be transparency in this whole process.
Most definitely. Piet, we'll leave it there with you. Thank you so much for joining us here on eNCA. That is Piet Heymans, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Sport Employees Unite, that being a trade union representing non-playing staff. And of course, the process is yet to get underway. Mark Boucher and the special counsel that is overseeing this process, Terry Motau, met yesterday, we believe, to essentially iron out the timetable of how this is going to be taking place. So it's a wait-and-see situation.